all-new Monday on Fox. Serve and protect with an all-new Deputy. Don't miss an explosive new episode tomorrow night.
Police say he shot and killed his family one by one.
The defendant told him that his mother and other siblings were dead and that his intention was to kill everyone in the home except himself.
What we now know happened the night of the murders and what the teen suspect is facing.
Well, we saw the rain, but when do we see the snow? I'll let you know in the forecast.
A local business that helps build the community from the ground up is now hoping to rebuild a bit themselves. I'm Brian Schnee in Layton with their story coming up.
Has the local festival lost its charm? Is it a tourist trap? One store owner weighs in on how the festival has grown each year and what that has done for her business.
The city of Layton says this woman and her pet pig broke the law.
I am shocked and thoroughly disappointed.
But this woman says her potbelly is no farm pig and her fight is not over yet.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
A 16-year-old accused of shooting and killing 4 of his family members last week in Grantsville faces 10 felony charges tonight.
Earlier today, the Tooele County Attorney Scott Broadhead identified the suspect as Colin Jeffrey Haney, who goes by the nickname CJ. Fox 13's Adam Herbets is live in Tooele tonight with new information about what happened that fatal night. Adam.
Yeah, Bob Kelly, this is the deadliest shooting in Grantsville history, and police say they still don't know why because their teenage suspect is not talking. As police wrap up the crime scene, investigators say they understand they still have a lot of work to do, trying to figure out why a teenage boy decided to kill his family members one by one as they walked through the front door.
This happened over a 5-hour period, piece by piece by piece by piece. This wasn't a one, horrific act all occurring in 1 minute, I snapped. This is something that methodically happened over a 5-hour period.
CJ Haney was supposed to be at school that day, but police say instead he stayed home and waited. First, killing his mother, Alejandra, and sister Milan at about 1 p.m. Then killing his sister, Alexis, at about 2 p.m. And finally, killing his brother, Matthew, at about 5:17 p.m.
We have no answer at this point as to what his motive or mental state was.
CJ will be tried as an adult, but because of his age, he's only eligible for life in prison, not the death penalty.
Devastating because his life will never be the same, and he was only 16 years old, so I feel terrible for him.
The only survivor was CJ's father, Colin Sr., who got home at about 6:15 p.m. He was shot in the leg, but says he was able to get the gun away from his son. Police say neighbors drove both the father and son to the hospital.
Well, he was obviously compliant because he got in the car and went voluntarily to the hospital.
County Attorney Scott Broadhead says the neighbors had no idea the shooter was in the car until he confessed to a 911 dispatcher.
Hopefully, as that process moves along, we can get some more of these answers. We all have the same questions. Why?
Police say the next step will be to go through all of the electronics that were inside the home. They want to figure out what CJ was doing in between the killing of each family member. We're live in Tooele tonight. Adam Herbets, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Adam, thank you. The funeral services for the members of the Haney family killed in this attack take place this Friday at noon at the Grantsville LDS Stake Center on Durgee Street. The viewing is at 10 a.m.
We will continue to track the latest developments in the Grantsville murders. Coming up tonight at 9:30, see how one grocery store in Tooele is trying to help the Haney family.
It has been 1 week since a man was killed when his plane crashed 2 miles south of the Ogden-Hinckley Airport in Roy. Now police are helping the National Transportation Safety Board in its investigation. Officers are asking people who live in the area of Roy Junior High School for any surveillance video or audio captured right before the crash. If you have anything that can help investigators in this incident, call Roy Police or message them on social media.
Funeral services have been announced for the 18-year-old man killed by an avalanche in Davis County last weekend. 18-year-old Chase Adams was snowmobiling with his father in Farmington Canyon Saturday afternoon when that avalanche occurred. There are 2 visitations taking place Thursday night as well as Friday morning. The funeral will be after Friday's visitation at the LDS Church off Combe Road in Ogden.
People in the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services building in downtown Salt Lake were evacuated today after a suspicious package was reported. Salt Lake City firefighters say they coordinated with police, DHS, and the FBI and ultimately determined there was no threat to the public before letting people back in.
All of these take quite a bit of time. We isolate it to make sure people are safe, make sure there are no injuries, no one's, have any hazards to their health. And then we slow the process down. As long as there isn't anything emergent, we do a methodical investigation.
Federal investigators are still trying to figure out who left the suspicious package behind.
It has been a very gray day in the valley. We had some rain early on. It kept looking like, though, Breck, the sky wanted to do more, like there was something else coming we were waiting for.
We were waiting for it, and we didn't see much activity as far as seeing any break in the clouds, and really not much break from the storms. Now, the storms that did roll through, and as far as the precipitation is concerned, mainly rain in the valleys, snow as you moved up in the higher terrain. We're looking over the past 24 hours, some of the precipitation amounts, again, for the central southern end of the Wasatch Front, it was rain, about 1/4 of an inch in Orem, coming over just 1/10 of an inch in Logan, where as that did bring in the precipitation, a lot of it snow in Logan, but accumulations less than 1 inch. Now, Sandy, it was rain coming in about 9/100ths of an inch. Ogden, a little less there. Now, where we did see the snow and the accumulations, mainly throughout some of the Wasatch Mountain valleys, looking like in here, they received 2 inches of snow. Some of the ski resorts definitely benefiting. Now, Brighton always does well in a westerly flow, and that's what we saw where we picked up over 1 foot of snow in some of those ski resorts, particularly the Cottonwood Canyons. All right, what's going on right now? Well, temperatures, as you can see along the Wasatch Front, above freezing, as we've been seeing a few light showers lingering, but they're tapering off. But with these temperatures still looking like we'd mainly see rain in the valleys, rain-snow mix, I should say, for the benches, and snow over the higher terrain. But we're not seeing much activity currently. Towards southern into eastern Utah, we actually have partly cloudy skies, but across the Wasatch Front, we're hanging on to some moisture, more of a cool northwesterly flow. And looking right now along the Wasatch Front and even across the mountains, not much going on, but you don't have to look too far, where as we go upstream, there's still some moisture out there. Some snow showers actually tracking currently right across the Utah-Idaho border in Box Elder County. That will move towards the Wasatch Front in the overnight hours. Not going to see much, but there is a possibility of maybe still seeing a mixture of rain and snow showers, particularly as we look in the early morning hours. You can see with our hour-by-hour forecast, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. In the morning, we could see some brief showers, and then it should taper off, where we'll get a break from the storms as we look towards tomorrow. But we have more storms lining up. How does it impact your weekend? And will we see finally snow for the valleys? I'll let you know coming up.
All right, thank you, Brett. A nonprofit business in Layton is hurting after the holiday weekend.
They, along with another business, were broken into and burglarized. Fox 13's Brian Schnee has a look at the damage and how this impacts the community.
The Habitat for Humanity Restore here in Layton has been open since April, and their focus is building the community. But now they could really use the community's help to help them rebuild after being victims of burglary this past weekend.
They were in here for quite some time. We are a nonprofit. We don't have $10,000 to properly do security on the facilities.
Appliances, cabinets, furniture, all sitting untouched at Layton's Habitat for Humanity Restore. But other items are now missing or scattered about the store after a burglary early Sunday morning.
Got the hacksaw and a sledgehammer and a crowbar, and then they went up to our main office in the front, hacksawed off the key-coded entry.
Tools taken, the building vandalized.
They ground off the hinges and then pry barred open the door.
They emptied the donation jar and cleaned out all of the cash that was in the safe.
It's very disheartening, actually, and then they took the tools and left our place and robbed the Chinese restaurant in front of us.
But employees say they took more than money. they stole time.
It's actually halting our home build that we just poured the foundation on.
Construction now on hold until the money can be replaced.
My staff, my volunteers, we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into helping the county and the community and the people that live here.
If you have any information about either of the burglaries, please contact Layton Police. If you'd like to help out Habitat for Humanity, we've got links on our website. It's fox13now.com. In Layton, Brian Schnee, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Police now investigating after a loaded gun was found by a student at an Ogden Elementary School. Ogden School District representatives say a student walking to Odyssey Elementary School saw the firearm on the ground just outside the school. You see it here in this picture. The child did the right thing, told a parent dropping off students that he had found the gun. That person then quickly called police. Officers secured the loaded gun and swept the school and found there was no indication of an active threat to students or any intent to cause harm.
Coming up on Fox 13 News at 9.
Investigators in St. George are looking for whoever sold dangerous weapons from deputies. What we're learning from them tonight.
Plus, the practice of conversion therapy being used on LGBTQ youth is now banned in Utah.
It simply will save lives.
Hear from survivors who are glad to see the practice end and from people who want to challenge the ban.
Training camp is underway for Real Salt Lake. We'll hear from Captain Kyle Beckerman at today's Media Day.
Could Jeffrey Epstein have been stopped?
I had heard that the police called him and they believed him over me.
Tomorrow at 2 on Fox 13.
What's making Tim Allen this happy?
It's a beautiful zippity-doo-dah day.
The new Fox Thursday lineup.
I'm full of energy, hope, optimism. I could almost vote for a Democrat.
Last Man Standing, followed by the series premiere of Outmatched, Thursday on Fox.
Let me in, the door's locked! Go, 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 go! Go!
For a clean getaway, it's got to be a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle. Certified reliable only at your Utah Honda dealers.
I can't believe you guys are gonna leave!
It's easy to be epic. It's no sweat to save hundreds of dollars a year in fuel and maintenance while making the air epically cleaner for everyone.
Dear Snowboard, it was totally supposed to be your day today. That's why we brought you along. But when we got to the top, I just had to give it a go myself. Sorry. Your turn next time. Maybe. Keep it wild. 4Runner.
Right now, lease a new 2020 4Runner for just $369 per month, or get $500 cash back on a new 4Runner. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
We know an insider who's been to all the Disney parks and has tracked down all the tips and secrets that fans and families need to know.
Fox 13's The Place, Thursday at 1.
Now to the latest on the president's impeachment trial. Last night's proceedings went well into the night with fighting over the rules.
It ended with a rare admonition from Chief Justice John Roberts. Today, it was the Democrats up first. Fox's Lauren Blanchard has the details.
The first 8 of 24 hours down for Democrats as they made their opening statements for why the president should be removed from office.
The president's misconduct cannot be decided at the ballot box, for we cannot be assured that the vote will be fairly won.
Chairman Adam Schiff leading the House managers as they began making their case. The Democrats go first, followed by the Republicans.
We're responding to what they're saying, but we're also going to put on an affirmative case. That not only what the president did was completely legal, completely constitutional.
Hour after hour, the managers laid out what we learned from the House's investigation, doubling down on why they think the Senate should subpoena the president's key aides and related documents.
Congress is a separate and co-equal branch of government,
we don't work for this president or any president. We, of course, work for the American people.
The president's team will also be given 3 days, which, if they use the full time, means the written questions will come next week. Then, if, like we saw Monday night, and Republican senators stay together, there may not be additional testimony or documents, and they would hold a vote to wrap up the trial.
If everybody in America could experience what the senators are experiencing in that chamber, I think they would they'd say end this today and end it right away.
The president says he still wants to deliver his State of the Union address on February 4th, even if the impeachment trial is still going on. He says it's important for his administration's agenda. On Capitol Hill, Lauren Blanchard, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes joined 20 Republican colleagues urging the Senate to reject the articles of impeachment today. According to our content partners at the Salt Lake Tribune, the 21 attorney generals argue the charges against the president were factually flawed and destructive of the separation of powers between executive and legislative branches.
Fox 13 News spoke to Thomas Burr, Washington bureau chief with the Salt Lake Tribune, to get his views today of the impeachment trial from inside the Senate chamber.
The question whether there'll be witnesses, we'll see later on. At the moment, this could wrap up in a couple weeks with an acquittal, which we assume will happen because there's probably little chance that 20 Republicans are going to jump ship and vote against the president.
The president's defense team will begin their counter-argument tomorrow. We'll keep tracking the impeachment trial right here on Fox 13. For the latest updates, stay with us here on the air, on social media, and at fox13now.com.
Earlier this evening on Live at 5, Breck, Bob had the perfect word to describe this midweek day. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. I missed it.
The word was meh.
Meh.
Meh. It was kind of a meh day. Gray, gloomy.
You're hard to impress.
What, did you not go outside today?
It was not pretty at all.
No, it was just, meh.
It really was. I like it.
You can add that to your meteorological glossary of terms.
We don't want this to stick around, though.
No,
we'd like to get more variety, but we're going to keep wet weather in the forecast here over the next few days. A little bit more wet heading into the weekend than what we previously thought. So we'll give you some updates on that. But look at the official high today in Salt Lake City. Low 40s. We got up to 43 degrees. Afternoon highs above normal. And again, a little precipitation where we saw mainly rain in the valley, snow in the mountains. Now, for many of you, you like that situation. Get the mountains or keep the snow up in the mountains so we don't have to shovel it here along the valley floors. And as it looks with the next couple of storms moving through, we're going to keep fairly mild temperatures. Right now we're at 40 degrees and are mostly cloudy skies. A break from the showers right now. There is a slight chance still in the overnight hours that we could see another brief shower. But with these temperatures, it still looks like a rain-snow mix. Now, we've seen some improvements air quality-wise. A lot of green dots, good category throughout Salt Lake Valley versus yesterday at this hour. We were looking at an unhealthy situation here, particularly in Weber and Davis County. Still looking at moderate concern level up in Weber and Davis County, but moving towards seeing some improvements and keeping it that way due to these storms that are going to be tracking through, at least for northern Utah, that'll keep things mixed out. Now, the forecast is moving through tomorrow. Friday, we remain good. Into Saturday, it begins to change. Sunday, we're back into that moderate concern level. But then we've got another storm to talk about Monday and Tuesday. Again, keeping the wet weather. The big question, though, is what we want to answer is, yeah, we've got rain in the valleys now, but how long will we keep it that way? When will we start seeing snow back into the valleys? Let's first focus in right now. We talked about the break from the showers. We are seeing some patchy fog, particularly as we look towards southeastern Utah, going from Green River down through Hanksville. As we did have dense fog advisories in place this morning, possibility is there, nothing currently in place. And we're also seeing the development of some patchy fog through some of the Wasatch Mountain valleys. The Wasatch Front, though, visibility is good. Now, we're seeing some clouds across the mountains of northern Utah through northeastern Utah. Earlier on, we had the showers. Still near this flow, which is a northwesterly flow, going around this ridge of high pressure. Caught up in that, again, a little bit of lingering moisture, which could bring us some brief showers to start the morning commute off. I don't see much of a concern traveling-wise, except in the canyons where we could get a little bit of snow. then things might get a little slick there. But for most of the Wasatch Front traveling along I-15, 215, and again moving further south, we should be good to go. But let's take a look over the next 48 hours what the models are showing as we time it all out here for tonight, moving through tomorrow morning. You saw that just quick little blue blimp there. That means that we could briefly see some showers. But throughout most Thursday, we're going to keep clouds across northern Utah. Clear conditions across the south. We don't see the shower threat through Thursday. Friday, things begin to change. We have a storm that's going to be clipping northern Utah. The timing of it avoids the morning commute as we roll through 6 a.m. until the lunch hour. That's when we get hit. Notice the colors of peak. That's a mixture of rain and snow for most valley locations, but moving further northward, we will see some snow showers, particularly up in Cache Valley. That quickly moves on. By the afternoon commute, we could see some lingering mountain showers, but for the valleys, it should dry out quite nicely. And heading into Saturday, we're heading into some clouds, but through half of the weekend, we see another storm returning on Sunday. So for tonight, clouds across the north, partly cloudy skies across the south. Overnight lows, as you can see, actually above normal. Low 30s along the Wasatch Front. Teens in Evanston, 20s in Price, as well as in Richfield. Mid-30s in St. George. Now tomorrow's highs, even a little bit warmer, mild for this time of year. 40s, mid-40s along the Wasatch Front, at least for Salt Lake City, Provo, a little bit cooler in Ogden. 30s in Logan, 36 in Park City. Can't rule out that we could see a brief shower again early morning hours, but mainly over the mountains. It quickly moves on. Central and southern Utah, as I mentioned, enjoying some nice weather. That's where you're going to see the blue sky and temperatures climbing. Upper 50s Thursday into Friday. How about 60s for the weekend? You're liking that, but you see a possibility of some rain on Monday, but that's it. 1 out of 7. You get the chance of maybe seeing some showers. Northern Utah, different story. We're talking 4 days out of 7 seeing the wet weather. It's mainly rain Friday. Saturday, a break, but Sunday afternoon, a possibility of some brief rain showers. Then it's a mixture of rain and snow Monday and Tuesday as some cooler air tracks through. Not too cold, but snow along the benches and snow in the mountains.
I got to tell you, I am glad it's rain. Not that the snow is all that bad, but you don't have to shovel.
That's what I said.
It rains.
Most people say, please do that. Keep the snow in the mountains, and you're going to get that.
Yeah. In fact, the rain is washing away a lot of my snow and ice that was left over on my driveway.
Right.
It's washing
Kind of a
it
January thaw.
Aren't we happy?
Yeah.
All right. Brooke, thank you.
It's still to come. They made the deadline, but will all of the signatures count? We'll have an update on that massive effort to defeat the tax overhaul bill lawmakers are planning.
And see how researchers at BYU are looking into how the type of milk you drink impacts your lifespan.
This is protection in a world of distraction. This is value you can't ignore. Get a low $302 per month lease on Rogue or Lease Frontier, just $269 per month.
My name is Amanda, and I smoked while I was pregnant. My baby was born 2 months early and weighed only 3 pounds. This is the view I had of her in the NICU. My tip to you is speak into the opening so your baby can hear you better.
Storm update, we're looking at bad roads out there. We've got freezing rain, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. The storm front...
Sorry, Mr. Weatherman. We are no longer listening. Because with more 2019 IIHS Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards combined than Honda, Subaru, or Toyota, winter can't touch a Hyundai SUV.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on the 2020 Hyundai Tucson or Santa Fe. Only at your Utah Hyundai dealer.
For 35 years, Bathfitter makes it easy to remodel your bath or shower.
Hi, I'm Bill Booman.
And I'm Rick Booman from Bathfitter. From your free in-home consultation to your installation, we're with you every step of the way, all backed by our lifetime warranty.
Bathfitter's exclusive seamless wall surround gives you the look of tile, slate, or marble. You'll love the result.
Save time and money with Bathfitter.
From Logan to St. George, we serve all of Utah. Call now and receive up to $450 off or 18 months no interest. It's better with Bathfitter.
There's just something to be said about free diving with leatherback turtles.
I bet it feels close to getting a home energy plan to save money.
impressive.
Hi, I'm Tyson. And I'm Ben. For over 9 decades, our family has the reputation of being focused on price, selection, and service.
This decade is no different. Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on the new 2020 Equinox.
You've got to come and see us at Murdoch Chevrolet.
Fox 13's Tamara Vaifanua, part of Utah's #1 news team.
Some stunning new numbers about the citizen referendum on the tax overhaul bill. The Lieutenant Governor's office tells Fox 13 News they are still validating the signatures and there are thousands still outstanding. But the referendum has a jaw-dropping 94% validation rate so far. That means not a lot of signatures are being thrown out. To date, more than 66,000 signatures have been validated. State elections officials have until February 4th to finish counting. If it qualifies, it will force a public vote in November on the legislature's tax overhaul bill.
The mayors of Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County are backing DACA recipients who want to be lawyers. The Utah State courts are considering a rule that allows dreamers or children of parents who immigrated illegally to the United States to practice law in Utah. The mayors say dreamers are qualified and went through school to become attorneys. The court is considering whether to allow them to take the state bar exam.
Utah now has a ban on LGBTQ conversion therapy. We broke the story for you last night right here on Fox 13 News at 9.
As Ben Winslow reports, supporters say it will save the lives in the face of an extremely high youth suicide rate in our state.
Utah is the 19th state to ban conversion therapy on LGBTQ children and arguably the most conservative.
It simply will save lives.
The governor issued a directive to implement a rule regulating therapists after a bill failed to pass the state legislature.
He saw how polarizing this was becoming, and he made the decision to allow science to prevail over politics. He kept his word to the LGBTQ community, and we are deeply grateful to him.
Conversion therapy is a widely discredited practice that seeks to change someone's sexual orientation or gender identity. Conversion therapy survivors say a ban will help combat Utah's high youth suicide rate.
Youth will be accepted and protected within our communities, and I'm thankful to live in a state like Utah where we say that you matter to everyone.
Social conservatives aren't ruling out asking the legislature to modify it or a potential legal challenge.
It's a very sad day for Utah families. This violates parental rights.
The governor's office says he will oppose any attempts to undermine the conversion therapy ban. Meanwhile, the Utah State Legislature could take up some bills that deal with transgender youth.
They can't even drink alcohol, but they can have puberty blockers.
One would bar teens from getting hormone therapy or surgery. Another creates a statewide policy on transgender athletes in high schools.
This is not about gender, this is about fairness.
Transgender rights activists are preparing to fight the bills.
To us, it's still hateful bills that try to erase the transgender community because they don't want us to have health care, they don't want us to participate in sports, they don't want us to get the gender marker changes we want on our birth certificates. It's basically trying to erase us out of existence.
On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Coming up after the break.
A community in mourning after a quadruple murder.
It's very hard for me to process. Like, it's been devastating.
How neighbors and strangers are finding ways to help the Haney family along this devastating path.
Could the inland port be an environmental disaster?
We do not need crappy warehouse jobs.
What a new report outlines and what the Utah Inland Port Authority is saying about it.
The Jazz going for their 18th win in the last 20 games tonight against Golden State. Highlights are on the way.